Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Spoiler Log Tournament, Week 5. We have a great race for you tonight. Relkin versus oneup40, both really excellent runners who are both 3-1 here. One of them will finish tonight 4-1, the other will finish 3-2. I'm Drosy. I am joined by Hexodus. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm not bad. I've been psyched for this. Yeah, but both of these runners joined this tournament coming off of really hot spells in the ALTTPR League, which ended right as this tournament began. Relkin was actually undefeated there, and oneup made it all the way to the finals. So, yeah, both of these are forces to be reckoned with, and you can see by their file names that they both have a good amount of respect for each other.
It's always nice to see when you get the little shout out in the title screen.
So you can see the countdown. The runners have had 15 minutes to study the logs. Once the counter hits 0, we will be on our way. And Sanctuary start for both of them.
That sync though.
I just realized we have Mario versus Bowser. That's pretty awesome.
Almost feels like that was planned.
But those are their usual sprites.
I did not know that. Actually, I did know that oneup uses Bowser.
Yeah, and Relkin's a Mario guy. Boy, are they synced here.
Well, let's hope it stays like that.
Fire rod and bombs. Okay, well, divergence already. Relkin wants what's back there, and oneup doesn't. Bombs to get more bombs, and that's a good deal from the bottle vendor today. 200% ROI.
I kind of feel bad for the bottle vendor though.
He's the one who put the deal out there.
Oh, business class for sure. Those are stealing those boots.
And using them to get a sword in the back, which is nice. We've got some good weapons off the bat. We don't have any magic to use the fire rod yet, but not having to buy bombs is always nice. And oneup's gonna buy bombs anyway.
That might be all there is in the village. Bomb-wise, anyways.
And we're immediately putting those boots to use, getting the moon pearl off the library.
Really nice place for it.
Almost like the seed wanted you to do that.
Almost.
And we're back in sync, too. What do we think the race game has for us today?
Usually disappointment, but this is spoiler.
Yeah, definitely a nice safety to get when it's only that little detour.
This is a good time to point out that they fixed the save and quit bug.
Yes, you might notice it's a whole lot faster.
We can expect this seed to be at least 20 seconds faster than a normal spoiler log.
Relkin presumably hit the wrong button. You don't do a map check in a spoiler log race. As you can see, our tracker has already marked all the crystals and pendants and medallion requirements.
And stealing some magic out of his closet.
Yeah, well, oneup grabs the book and a couple of random safeties, the bloomerang and a heart container out of Mini Moldorm.
Straight into the castle. Play. Going to get your magic refill. Using the stun drop. The magic refill.
Well, the stun drop's in the spoiler log. That's one of those nice things there. So I think... Yeah, I think they both wanted a magic fill, and in Relkin's case, that meant getting half magic because that gives you the free refill, and oneup decided he'd do it via the bloomerang and stun prize.
Both perfectly viable options. One was crazy fast over the other.
Yeah, and since they have to do Eastern anyway, it's a crystal, I imagine oneup will grab that half magic when he does Eastern. On the flip side, Relkin might want that book depending on what access to desert looks like. Yeah!
Long walk for a cape.
Yeah, especially this early in the seed. And Relkin's going right back to Hyrule Castle. I think we all know what this means.
This means he's crazier than I am.
Well, again, that early fire rod is going to be nice for getting through the Agate Tower enemies.
At least, I'm more worried about doing the tower climb in the dark.
Oh,
There's only a couple rooms that have torches.
So oneup has decided that in lieu of saving and quitting as Relkin did, he's gonna death warp, but with the blue mail and really weak enemies, that takes a while.
Certainly does. Really nicely in that room. The torch does alert the enemies.
Gets the second torch lit just in time. Now, you can see the half magic giving Relkin a bit of an advantage here because, oh, oneup got a magic refill there. I was gonna say he has to be careful with his magic. He only gets 8 fire rod shots and he'll need some of them to light up these dark rooms. Oh no.
Yeah, that first torch is not necessarily easy to find. Relkin just make super easy.
Yeah, okay. Oneup takes advantage of that stun prize, though, but he is on half a heart. He has no margin for error.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be real careful. Luckily, he does have the cape, so...
And he remembers where there's a heart under a pot. That's pretty good recall, because you don't usually think of what's under the pots in Agate Tower.
I actually don't know where the hearts are in that room. Pretty smoothly through Agate's Tower, all things considered.
But oneup has made it through the dark rooms. And now he doesn't have to worry about magic, because you don't need magic for Aga, and he'll get a full refill when he defeats Aga.
I'm completely skipping out on that fairy.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, but I guess now that he's at 1.5 hearts, he feels he's okay.
With blue mail, that's...
And chat did their guessing game, but I was actually watching to make sure oneup would survive to Aga, so I didn't notice how many blue balls there have been so far.
We can always recount on oneup side.
Looked like 1 based on how quickly Aga went down. Chat is confirming. Friendly Aga today.
Fairy. I've only had that once.
I've had a 0. But yes, relkin.
Looks like we found our first glove.
Yeah. Heck of a place to put them. And looks like relkin's
well,
going
after the Egyptians were finished building the pyramid, they left their gloves there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, relkin's going for either Lumberjack or Death Mountain here. And it's Death Mountain. Now this is a much easier dark room. But yeah, only in Spoiler will you see a 10-minute Aga play.
Yeah, most runners typically like to exhaust all their options before they decide Agnum's the way to go.
Though without a glove or a hammer or flippers or anything, you know, there wouldn't have been that many places they could have gone.
Yeah, there really isn't. Get to see quite a bit of the Sphere Zero checks.
And here's our bow sitting in Spec Rock. And by charging east, I'm guessing relkin is going to eastern.
And Eastern Post Aga is the worst set of screens in the light world.
Yeah, there are so many red guards on the way there. Oof. I don't think oneup meant to do that.
A spin speed giveth and taketh away.
Given that this had to be an Aga seed, those early boots are nice, allowing the runners to, you know, make up a lot of time against what they'd be doing without the boots.
That's always something nice when the seed gives you something for doing something terrible.
And we're not done with terrible things in this. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I said it almost makes up for the fact that you have to do Agnum anyway.
Hey, another dark room. Maybe we can do every dark room in the game, though that would involve Pendant Mire. Also,
It
that
wouldn't
would
be very
involve
nice.
that would involve doing Death Mountain Exit, which you never see in Rando.
Oh yeah, that's true.
OneUp did not grab the half magic on his way in. I wonder if he'll do it on his way out.
That is surprising. With boots, it
Especially-
really doesn't take that much time.
Yeah, and given how reliant both runners have been on the fire rod, especially in this room Relkin's about to enter, helps a ton.
Although with that stun drop, maybe he feels it's not necessary.
Yeah, that could be, as long as you have stunnable enemies available. Just takes a bit of menuing to get to the boomerang.
It's done quick.
Yeah, that was a clinic there, and that's the Titan's mitts. So let's think about this forced logic. You had to do Aga to get that first glove off of the pyramid so that you could go up Death Mountain, because as far as we know, there's no good flute access or the runners would have done it. To get the bow to beat Armos Knights for the mitts.
Plando?
It does feel like it.
Ooh. Just missed that second hit on the second Igor.
At least he got him on that first cycle without him going to sleep. And also gets the quick kill on Armos Knights.
Nice fight from both our runners.
And Relkin's already on to his next dungeon.
Much rando as I've watched, I always get nervous when I see chests unopened.
I know, your immediate reaction is, what's happening?
What did you do? You forgot one! And then, of course, yeah, I mean, they're fine, but...
Now, OneUp is doing total divergence here.
Must be something he really, really wants over here.
I think maybe he got confused.
This does happen where you read a little bit too far ahead of where you want to be.
Yeah, I think...
And end up in the wrong...
Again, force of habit. I think he might have been thinking, well, I just did Eastern, I'll do Pod now.
Yep, that is very possible.
Only no hammer.
And I mean, 15 minutes seems like a lot. I know we mention it a lot, but it's really not a huge amount of time to figure out what to do and how to do it.
And again, you can tell, what items are inconvenient based on whether the runners have picked them up or not. Like, we don't have a hammer and we're still on Fighter Sword. That tells you that neither the hammer nor the remaining sword upgrades are anyplace pleasant.
Fighter sword. It always... Just because of how tough the enemies are, typically.
Yeah, I mean, the game doesn't expect you to be in the Dark World with the fighter sword, period.
Never mind on 4 hearts.
And there are a number of bosses that can't even be damaged with fighter sword slashes. Fortunately, Blind is not one of those because he doesn't care what sword you hit him with.
I was gonna try to think of a classless joke I could make, because the game does all of its damage in classes. But I think I'm too tired to think of one.
I can think of them, but I'd rather not bring politics into play here.
It's fair. Got no class, so you can hit him with anything.
Have you noticed that every time Relkin does a spin dash, he accidentally hits X?
Yeah, it might be the exuberant fashion in which he's rolling from B to A.
And look what's up there on Bumper Ledge.
This is time to go for a swim. As something important for us.
Yeah, and chat pointing out that this is necessarily a swamp play because these runners can definitely water walk, so if it were anything else, they'd just water walk to it.
Also have the means to do Ancilla Fake Flipper as well.
Though I don't know if either of them are crazy enough to do that, and Relkin is taking a dive into Pendant Skull Woods.
Its tower with no real fire source.
Meanwhile... Whoa.
Good item.
Oh. And oneup seems to have caught up a bit here. He is pretty hot on Relkin's tail.
Looking like it. They're definitely putting some speed in his step there. Chat pointing out that we also do need the mirror if we do want to go into swamp.
We need the hammer if we want to get past the first chest.
Also true.
Oof. Yeah, that maneuver, Relkin got it easily, made it look easily. Oneup is showing us that it is really not as easy as it looks.
Here's something you don't see every day.
Which part?
Well, if I have any opportunity to grab a sword before I dip ice, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah, fighter sword ice.
Especially if you plan on going to Cold Stare. Oh, with no hammer. Seems unlikely.
Oh, right, no Cane of Samaria, so can't exactly do, Icebreaker. You don't see this too often.
The other day. I almost forgot how.
OneUp did grab his hook shot there, and it just the tracker hasn't caught up, right? He didn't take a death en route to the hook shot.
Oh no, he did grab it.
Okay.
Shit. Well, not us. Our wonderful tracker.
Shoutouts to our tracker Adalor, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna pronounce it wrong.
I don't know whether I got it right, but it was a guess.
Sounded confident.
If you're gonna be wrong with conviction.
Absolutely.
But yes, tracking a spoiler log race is not easy because items show up a lot faster than they do in races where the runners don't know where they are.
You basically do all your work in the first 25-30 minutes, and then after that, you track dungeons. Ooh.
That is a really nasty place for the hammer.
A lot of seeds that I've watched where I've kind of said, this would be terrible to run blind, and then immediately wanted to download it to give it to some unsuspecting person.
Yeah, I don't even know how long it would take a good runner to do this seed blind.
It's not a simple one, that's for sure.
Relkin grabbing a heart container that's more or less on the way.
Here we go. Cold stare.
Again, that half magic is really nice because when you only have Fighter Sword, which I believe can only harm Cold Stare and spin attacks, yeah, you can just finish him off with Fire Rod shots like that.
That was very clean.
Whereas OneUp is probably going to have to use hammer strats.
Yes. This I probably would have tried to route in bombos. Bizarre, it's not in a good place.
None of the things here are in a good place except for the boots.
Well, to be fair, I would have routed in an extra 6 hearts, 2 swords, and be a 3. So
Relkin, I'm guessing, is going to do pod now.
it's like the play.
And yeah, OneUp is going to have to be very careful. He can take one hit from a puff, and that was that one hit. So he has no margin for error.
That is so risky. There can move very quickly.
Okay, 2 puffs down.
gonna hug that upper wall to negate some of the ice.
There we go.
Nicely done.
Of course, the fact that Cold Stare drops a key means that the logic is expecting you to have the Cane of Samaria when you come in here.
It's for having better weapons, too.
But hey, 3 crystals at the half-hour mark.
Good. All things considered. Is 1UP grabbing half magic?
And Relkin getting some good mileage out of being able to bonk his way through pod. So notice that Relkin picked up an extra key, because he only needs 1 to get to the boss here. So I think it's a conscious routing choice, and he's actually thinking he'll double back. So maybe more like a changed his mind choice. Oh no, he just wants the hearts.
Walking for some hearts.
Yeah, and having to push that statue. Whereas 1UP is going straight to the back. Didn't even grab the big key yet.
Oh. Interesting way.
And there's Arcane. So
It's gross.
but I think it'll let 1UP make up some time because he won't have to do the statue dragging, and I kind of wonder why Relkin didn't go for the cane before going to the boss.
Good question. Something you would normally see routed in.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get that you don't have the mirror, and we saw just now 1UP took a little bit of time to death warp, but I'd still think getting the cane first is more efficient.
And with blue mail is definitely not quick, no matter how you do it. You could have voided out in the room next to him, but time.
So down goes Helma there, and I will be interested to see which one of our runners is in the lead when they both come out of pod.
That'll be really interesting. To get back to that chest.
Yeah, I think all told, Relkin will still be coming out of pod first, but it'll be a lot closer than it was when they went into pod.
Much is for sure.
Assuming OneUp can light the torches in the basement and doesn't have a mishap like he had in Agate Tower.
Yes, now would be a really unfortunate time to miss those torches. Looks like the switch there giving him some trouble.
Yeah, the blue boomerang just isn't quite far enough.
You can do it when you can see. Really nice torchlight.
Yeah. Makes up for his Agate Tower woes, and Relkin is gonna get the big bomb. Well, that's one nice thing about beating Aga. You can do the quick route to the pyramid like the game intended you to.
This is true. We have the mirror.
We have right. I just thought of the portal. I didn't think of the other direction.
Wrap him up quickly.
And there's that pesky mirror, and that's why we didn't have it in pod, or just now.
I love this game.
Relkin does remember that once you've beaten Aga and have the mirror, if you save and quit in the Dark World, you will respawn on the pyramid, so he remembered to mirror before saving and quitting.
That gets a lot of players.
Oh, I've seen it so many times, and then they mirror and save and quit again.
Yes. Although thankfully with that save and quit delay gone, it's not as punishing.
Yeah, definitely.
Time loss. It's going to do Mini Moldorm.
I guess that flute is someplace inconvenient.
Wants to stun things.
And he's grabbing that extra heart container that OneUp got earlier.
Leaving the best boomerang?
Once you got the hook shot.
I suppose. Though it does make certain rooms in GT nicer. Assuming you need to do those rooms.
And we are definitely making a swamp dive here. Green Pendant Swamp.
And Fighter Sword. I guess it's not bad if you're not doing the boss.
Even if you are doing the boss, if you're good enough with the double hook shot spin attacks, you don't have to make it a menu boss.
This is true. It's still an extremely difficult fight to execute well.
Yes, though both of these runners are of the caliber where we might see one or both of them do it if they have to do the boss. So our runners are only about 2 rooms apart now. What are we going to see?
Definitely going to be a close race. Ooh.
The ice rod. But wait.
Of course it is.
There's more.
Oh, immediate mirror.
Looks like Relkin didn't quite line up that diver down. There we go.
I'll learn that one.
Yeah, it's useful.
Use bombs.
And oneup forgot to grab the key. So the time he could have gained from Relkin's failed diver down, he gave it right back.
Oh. That happens to the best of us. Whatever mistakes are made can all be lost or caught up at Argus.
And oneup chooses the bomb strats for diver down and gets it very cleanly.
It was very quick. Here we see those double poke spins.
Yeah, it takes a double spin slash to beat the little R guy, but if you do it just right, you can get it in as we're seeing Relkin do it.
Getting them done really clean.
Let's see how oneup fares. Also got the strat down, very nice.
At the time. But keeping very minimal.
And there's our green pendant. I mean, the bottle's
First
nice.
Bottle?
Could be something on Sick Kid. But
Fetch quests.
yeah, the other 3 bottles would have to be someplace truly awful for that to be our best way of getting at Sick Kid.
Almost getting the quadruple fire shot there.
Either way, I think he made up a little bit of time there.
It's like, yes. I have it on good authority that those little popcorn shrimplets taste like the poplars from Futurama.
Ah, which means that's why the big Argus is chasing you around. It's, you know, revenge.
Absolutely. Those,
It wants to eat Leela.
Yes. Oh, that it's the best item in the game?
Which is?
And afterwards.
Oh, the book. And
Be the best.
now that both runners are past it, we can tell you that the lamp was in Desert Palace map chest. So the game wanted you to come all the way out here to a dungeon you couldn't beat because we had no gloves before doing Aga Tower.
It's further proof that this is generated by a machine. A cold, unfeeling machine. I refuse to believe humans would be this horrible to ourselves.
Yes, but, you know, Sinak programmed Sahasrabot, so we can blame him anyway. And both runners get a nice 0 cycle on Lanmo here.
Differential.
Yeah, the time differential is about a crystal grab.
It's very close.
So now we're going to turn in that green pendant, because that is the only possible reason Relkin could be coming over here.
Makes you wonder if he's going to grab half magic while he's here.
One-up might. Relkin already got it, but yeah. I would, but I'm not one-up. He's just pointedly ignoring that half magic. I guess he wants to take risks. He's like, what, 5 or 10 seconds behind, and figures he'd rather take the risk of running out of magic, which would just totally put him out of the running if it happens at the wrong time, than adding another 5 seconds to his deficit.
I mean, sometimes it's harder to make up 5 seconds.
Did you see those 2 chests?
Back-to-back swords. Nice. And one up.
And of course, given the locations of the hookshot and the hammer and the mirror, there was no way we were getting here sooner, and I can understand that the runners didn't want to make 3 trips up the mountain.
I could see that decision. Up, almost skipping out on those chests. Getting a little bullied by the Moldorms.
But yeah, Tempered's a whole lot nicer than Fighter Sword.
Especially for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we won't have to do a menu fight on Trinex.
A hammer Trinex is no fun. It's easy enough once you get into the rhythm, but it's slow, and we like to go fast.
You know what they say, gotta go fast. And Turtle Rock's annoying because it doesn't matter, spoiler log or not, Go mode or not, you need small keys.
And that's another that's really difficult with the spoiler log. Although you can tell where all the small keys are, putting them in your route can be very tricky. Games. Well, chess names, I should say.
I wonder where the other 3 bottles are. I'm getting curious now.
To see if they pick up another one.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away.
Actually already closed the spoiler log. I don't remember where they all were.
Nice use of iframes by oneup to get past that chain chomp.
Both of them had a pretty clean run through the change through. Quite a few runners die in that one room.
Well, one nice thing about spoiler is you can tell whether you need to get a small key out of the big chest or not.
True.
Though this key count does mean we're gonna have to get a key out of Laser Bridge.
Not missing that spin on the pokey there.
Actually, this is interesting. I don't think Relkin got that small key that oneup just did from the pokey, and so oneup's going to be able to skip Laser Bridge for having invested a little bit more time going to the pokey, but this might on net make him up some time.
But he also doesn't have half magic with the cape.
True. Yeah, we'll have to ask him about his decision not to get half magic.
I'm curious about that as well.
And for those of you just joining us, the half magic was in Sahasrala's closet, so really on the runner's way several times over.
Why not picked up some time in desert?
Oneup also has half a heart. There's a heart under the pot here, but
He's fine.
yeah, he's got Tempered Sword.
The half hearts is more than enough for an enemy that...
Ah, he uses the blue goo, and just in time.
that was an excellent play.
And
Yeah,
what
Trinex
runners-
hits like...
Go ahead.
I was just saying, Trinex hits like a truck, so it's good to have a little bit of safety.
Yeah, on blue mail, he takes 3 hearts. But yeah, I was just going to say that runners love when they can do Hera as their last crystal, as long as they have the mirror.
And with that Hera pod, it just makes it so fast.
Yeah, especially if you can do the boots Hera pot clip.
Relkin gave us a pretty good example of that, using some plus buffers to get him in the right position. And down goes Moldorm.
So oneup has to do a fast Hera pod or he's gonna lose time to Relkin here. I think he's already lost a bit of time because the runners were just a crystal grab apart.
I think grabbing that key at from the lava chest door there might have done it.
Yeah, so I guess it was slower because the other key was at the top of Laser Bridge.
Skip is pretty free as well.
Oh yeah, so right, chat. Guess where the big key is? Probably left side, given where Relkin's going. And there are silvers.
Place for
as
it.
well as a good way to stock up on small keys.
Rang would have been nice, but it doesn't lose that much time using Kane. The fact about that previous room he was in with the key under the pot, you leave the magic alone, despawn the key.
Really? Never knew that. Oh, wow. What?
Oh.
This is interesting on OneUp's part. He has elected not to get the silver arrows.
Interesting.
And even the best runners, silver arrows save 25 seconds, and I don't think it takes 25 seconds to go up to Stalfos room there.
Oh.
So I think very strictly speaking, getting the silvers would have been the right choice.
It does make certain rooms a little bit quicker.
And Relkin's already gotten the big key out of Rando room and is heading upstairs. Yeah, I mean, when you get to these mimic rooms, the red mimics only take one hit instead of two.
Just increases the risk of the
So yeah, another question we'll have to ask OneUp.
Team may know that he's behind. It's just trying to make up the time.
Yeah, but when you've committed yourself to an extra 25 to 50 seconds on Ganon, depending on exactly how good your silverless Ganon fight is. Yeah, I'd say this is now very much Relkin's race to lose, though obviously a Ganon fall can change everything. And even a Moldorm fall could change things a bit.
And I mean, Ganon's tower is pretty mean. There's lots of ways to die. Not that we wish ill on anyone climbing Ganon's tower.
Also, Relkin grabbed yet another heart container somewhere, and he's now up to 7 while OneUp's still at 5.
Relkin actually grabbed that in the Hope Room.
Oh.
Quick grab there.
Makes sense.
So OneUp is really burning through these rooms quickly.
Yeah, but now he's going to have to burn through magic on Lanmos because he can't just use silvers on them.
True. Lanmo giving him a really bad pattern there.
Yeah, and unfortunately that means he has to go to the second cycle, so he loses some time there.
Egg dash from Relkin.
Relkin's ditching all his bombs, which helps with the menuing during the Ganon fight. Especially when you have silvers.
Ooh. That was an excellent sword swing. Just barely dodging.
Did OneUp miscount how many keys he needs?
Looks like it.
Because he's now got 1 extra. And notice what Moldorm's last possession was. That's why I didn't want to say anything about bottles.
I forgot about that. As well.
And OneUp skipping that safety too, despite being down to 2 hearts.
Ow. Really nice. A 2 fight here from Relkin. Be a really, really close Ganon fight as well.
Yeah, other than, you know, silvers.
This is true.
Yeah, it's at this point it'll take a Ganon Fall or a Ganon Hug to change the outcome, but never say never until he's crossed the bridge.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody accidentally fell off before the bridge appeared.
Let me tell you about what Ninban did during the league.
Wasn't gonna say names.
But he won anyway!
That's the crazy part.
Anyway, wow, was that a triple? That looked like a triple. And that is GG.
Was a triple.
Get them in chat. With OneUp right behind on phase 3.
He crosses the bridge.
And has an official race time of 1:18:28, so 1:03:28 when you discount the 15 minutes of study, which is impressive considering it was an Aga seed and a green pendant seed.
Very good time.
And oneup doing a great job with getting 3 hits per torch cycle here on Ganon.
It's not easy to do, to react to Ganon's patterns and that you're quick enough.
And get your GGs in for oneup.
Well done.
And he will cross with an official race time of 1:19:35, which is 1:04:35. So just over a minute at the end of the day. Really one of our closer races this week. So let's see if we can get them both in here. I see Relkin in the waiting room.
Adalor already beat me to it here. Last sword was on Moth. And there was no way we were doing that.
Yeah. And the powder was on Waterfall Ferry, so the runners weren't going to take a detour for that safety. Oh, and the flute was Hera Big Chest, so that was right out. And we're joined by Relkin. GG's.
Thank you. GG.
So, what were your thoughts? How far into the log were you when you realized it was an Agassiz?
I knew it was an Agassiz because of the glove on the pyramid, but I didn't realize that I actually needed to get the cape immediately, pretty much, because I was like, wait, so I can just go up the mountain, get my glove out of Eastern, I can do that whenever. Nope, I have to get the cape ASAP, go kill Aga, then get the glove off the pyramid, and then go get the bow to get the other glove.
And you must have been overjoyed when you realized where the lamp was, that you weren't gonna be seeing that.
Yeah, I figured that if I was ahead, I would go ahead and pick it up by the time I went over to the desert. So I went ahead and just picked it up. The way I'm getting the lamp this early.
Yeah, I mean, both of you did. Aga with Fire Rod, and that's actually where you started to open up your lead, because you got that Fire Rod shot immediately to light the torches and oneup. Had a bit of trouble in there. So I think there was some feedback after that, because he knew he was playing catch up after that, and I think it affected some of the small decisions you guys each made in terms of safeties after that.
Right.
But yeah, so
picking up that half magic would have been helpful as well.
That's why I picked it up, because I knew I might have trouble in Aga Tower, and I knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of hearts to do it. So I figured the best defense is a good offense. Just get the half magic and make my life a lot easier.
Hey, and we've got oneup in here as well. GG.
GG's, that was an exciting race.
GG's, dude.
Yeah. we were just discussing the half magic, though, and I'm intrigued by your decision to avoid it altogether.
To be honest, I'm not really sure where it was. I noticed about half an hour in that Relkin had it, and I wasn't sure where he had got it from. There was a lot to route in that seed that was not obvious, and yeah, I didn't exactly have a lot of time to go through and look for safeties like half magic.
It was in Sahasralo's closet, so you were right there.
Oh, yeah, I could see that, yeah.
And I guess
And you also didn't make the decision for silvers.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I need to get better about that, because, like, usually like when I first get the spoiler, I look through it, and you're like, okay, one bow is required if, like pod or Eastern or something's on the table. And so, like you look through and like the first bow you see is in GT, and you're like, oh, so that's not the bow I'm going to get. I need another bow before I get to GT. And then, yeah, I just forget to go back and be like, okay, where in GT was that? Am I going to get easy silvers? Which, in this case, I think it was Hope Room it looked like Relkin got it from.
Silvers were in the Stalfos room or the DM's room.
Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, that would have been pretty easy to grab.
So yeah, those couple of decisions made some of the difference, unfortunately. Because the first
Yeah.
real...
Still a massively close race. Super entertaining to watch.
Yeah, the first real...
Seed... Sorry, I was just going to say, that seed was super linear. Like, it didn't look like it was very linear at first, but then, like, you started realizing the requirements you were going to have for each thing, and, like, by the time you planned it all out, there was pretty much only one way to get your way through most of the seed.
Yeah, and it was a pretty crazy way.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I was going to say, though, in terms of, what you did decide for safeties, you wound up going to get the bloomerang because you had looked up the stun prize.
Yeah, that I had noticed because I knew I was going to need a magic refill of some sort to go to Agate Tower with Fire Rod. And I noticed that that was the stun prize. And when I had, like, when I go through the seed and I see, like, something's in mini, like, okay, to step back a second. Usually, like, when I first plan my route, I make a list of everything I'm going to need, and then I go find where all those things are. And then when I see, like, one of those things is in, like, Mini Moldorm Cave, for example, like, I stop for a second, and, like, all the Mini Moldorm Cave stuff is grouped together, and I'm like, okay, while I'm in Mini Moldorm Cave, what else of these 5 things here should I get? And I remember seeing that, yeah, the NPC was the boomerang. And at first I'm like, okay, that's just a waste of time. I'm going to skip that. Then I saw that, yeah, the stun prize was full magic. And I'm like, oh, well, if I grab that from the NPC, then that's going to be super easy magic refills.
Yeah, the only thing was that's where Relkin decided to get the half magic instead as his magic refill.
Yeah, okay, and then, yeah, that gave him an instant refill right there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where he first got an edge on you.
I also used it not only for the magic to get into Agate Tower, but also for Cold Stare, since I knew I was going to have to deal with Fire Sword or Hammer. And I was like, nah, I'll just use my Fire Rod and half magic.
Yeah, I definitely lost some time in that fight when I realized, like, you were going to be doing it with half magic, and, I didn't have a whole lot of options there, which was unfortunate. Yeah, yeah, I didn't get a chance to really see where Bombos was either.
That wasn't Hammer Pegs, but there was no way to route that one in.
Yeah, because you would have needed that hammer from Ice Palace, so...
But yeah, I'm looking at your dramatically different collection rates there. GT was a good chunk of it since, Relkin, you emptied the Stalfos room and went to Hope room. But yeah, that's actually... you don't usually see that much of a difference in collection rate in a spoiler race.
Yeah, as some of the more... Yeah, like some of the safeties we already talked about, I skipped, although I did have some more things planned on my route, like heart containers and even, like, powder and stuff, and, like, every time I made a mistake, I'd be like, okay, like, I absolutely don't have time to go get that safety now, we're just gonna have to grit our way through it, and, yeah, I kept on making mistakes, and then removing safeties from my route, and, yeah, that's just how it ended up being.
I don't know how much you guys were watching each other, but you were about like 10 or 15 seconds apart when you finished Desert. So you had almost closed the gap one up, but then you guys started to pull apart.
Yeah. No, silver certainly sealed the deal.
Then you did what looked like a heads-up play, stealing that key from the left side of Turtle Rock there, rather than grabbing it off Laser Eye Bridge.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was an option. I guess that's what Relkin did, because I saw him go to Laser Bridge, and I was kind of curious why, and I was wondering if that's why, because there's another key there.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't
the key
even-
layout, key layout was such that you could skip stealing the Poke Key altogether.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta think that's probably a little faster. I don't know.
It saves you having to go through the pipe twice, and that's the screen transitions. There's two screen transitions from Laser Bridge, and from the Poke Key. But the pipe is what it saves you.
Okay. So yeah, that's a pretty smart play there by Relkin.
So
I mean,
Relkin,
with
you're
having
saying-
Cape too, it makes it really easy to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Relkin, you're saying that even if the key had been at the bottom of Laser Bridge, it would have still been faster to do it that way?
Yes, because it probably takes less time to get the key off Laser Bridge than it takes to kill the Pokey. No matter what chest it's in, as long as you do it fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. And of course, the cape helped, as Hexodus said.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much that cape and half magic would have been my best friend through the back of Turtle Rock. That was super cushy.
So yeah, how are you guys feeling about the tournament in general? You both still have a shot at the playoffs, certainly.
Do we really? I mean, I didn't do like people with 2 losses. Can they still make it? I guess you could barely make it by the skin of your teeth, can't you?
I think there'll be a couple of 5 and 2s who will go to the playoffs.
Yeah, a couple of 5 and 2s are going to make it. I don't think, I mean, that's assuming in the first place that I win my last 2, which is probably not going to be a very easy feat to begin with. But yeah, I think even if I do manage somehow to make it to 5 and 2, with the records my opponents have had, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it at that point. I don't know. It's probably going to be close, but I got to imagine there's seeing some of the early matches that other people have had. I think there's going to be other 5 and 2 people that have a lot higher opponent strength of schedule or whatever that other score number is.
I haven't actually checked, but I'll take your word for it.
I haven't actually taken the time to figure out what it all means because I'm low that it's not even a factor for me.
Yeah, just the opponents that you faced in the tournament, their record matters in tie breaking between other opponents with the same record as you.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm just looking quickly. Yeah, oneup, if anything, you seem to be reasonably well positioned for 3 and 1. I guess now 3 and 2 player, but we'll see when they update the standings for next week.
Yeah, because it's going to be, I think, I forget the exact number, but I think it's going to be 2, maybe 3 of the 5 and 2 players. So not a whole lot of them are going to get in the first place. So we'll see.
Yeah, the numbers are going to come out weird because with 64 players, they only come out nice and even if you do 6 rounds. But since we're having a 7th round, there'll be some, matchups with people who don't have the same record.
That extra
But-
week really puts a wrench into things.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I didn't even realize until just a couple seconds ago when I was trying to figure out how many games were left. There's only 2 weeks left after this. So yeah, it's amazing how quickly this has gone by.
Yeah, and it'll be
assuming I
July
counted that
soon
right.
enough. Yeah, I think the schedule says that the Swiss goes until July 14th, and then brackets start after that.
Swish should go until July 12th, I think.
Yep.
That's the last Sunday.
I thought officially you have until Tuesday or
Okay,
something.
then in that case, yeah, that makes sense. So officially Tuesday. Realistically, I guess you'd like it to be July 12th if you can help it.
Yeah. So far, everyone seems to want to get their races done by the end of the weekend.
I mean, I guess maybe if it came down to it, there needed to be some tiebreaker races, then that might be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what happens if you have the same strength of schedule as other people and need a tiebreaker.
These are questions we need to know the answers to.
I'm sure if the situation comes up, our admins will let us know.
Well, relkin, if you just win out, you clinch automatically, and you won't have to worry about it.
Oh, but that's not fun. That's too easy. No, I'm kidding.
It's in one of the hardest tournaments.
Yeah, this is a very tough tournament.
Too easy is definitely an understatement.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight. I mean, it's getting pretty good and late here, at least if you're on the East Coast like I am. I know our runners aren't, which is why you guys scheduled such a late race to begin with.
I think
No, I'm actually on the East Coast here. It's getting a little late here too, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't schedule this weekend, and I think tonight was my only opening. So, and I had to do it super late. But yeah.
Well, we should all get some sleep, and do give our runners a follow here. I mean, you saw how they played today. This was an awesome close race, and I'm looking forward to seeing the last 2 weeks of Swiss and hopefully them in the brackets. And thank you again to Adalor, our tracker, for being so on top of everything here. And thanks to my co-com Hexodus, your first time comming, so GG's on that.
Thanks. Yeah, I was in a waiting list for a while. And figured I'd try my hand at commentating since I'm mediocre at playing. Yeah, no, it was an absolute blast. Thank you for having me.
And be sure also to check out the schedule. At the moment, it looks like we're going to have at least 2 restreamed matches tomorrow. Should be good stuff. Another couple of 3-in-1 matches, actually, at 5:15 and 8:15. And give the SpeedGaming family of channels a follow so that you can be up to date on that front, because that's where we're doing our restreams. So, GG's once again to our runners, and it's been great. Have a good night.